Look at the headlines first. Union Minister Suresh Prabhu to present railway budget today. Minister faced with uphill task of providing passenger services amid dwindling funds. Rajya Sabha to take up discussion on the JNU Rao and Rohit Vemula suicide case. HRD minister's fiery counter in lower house to allegation by opposition of pushing saffron agenda. Newly installed Arunachal Chief Minister to face a floor test today. Shot in the arm for Kali Khopula as the 8 loyalists of former Chief Minister back him. Two days ahead of planned ceasefire, first airdrop of UN aid in Syria. Reports say Russian president making push to make ceasefire a reality. And India beat Bangladesh by 45 runs in the inaugural match of the Asia Cup T20 series. Rohit Sharma's 83-run knock proves win India the day. Well, Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu will be presenting the railway budget for the year 2016-17 today. Ahead of the budget presentation, the minister said that it will cater to the needs of all satisfactorily.
With assembly elections due in West Bengal, Assam, Kerala and Puducherry, there is pressure of expanding railway infrastructure in these places. While expectations are high, the railways is in the need of funds to provide better safety, upkeep and modernization. While the budget is being prepared after consultations with experts, MPs, chief ministers and ordinary people, the possibility of a fare hike is not being ruled out this time.
आम लोग हैं उनको कम मिलना चाहिए, थोड़ा रिलीफ मिलना चाहिए इन सब एक्सपेंसेस से. हम अब डेली अप डाउनर्स हैं और जो लेडीज प्रोटेक्शन रहती है वो भी मिलनी चाहिए.
गाड़ियों में थोड़ा सफाई की तरफ भी अब ध्यान दें. कुछ खाने पीने का जो हिसाब किताब है उसमें भी हम चाहते हैं थोड़ी सी और मतलब इम्प्रूवमेंट आए ताकि और लोग ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जो है ट्रेन का सफर का लाभ उठा सकें.
Ahead of the budget, the Railways Minister has said that the railway resources are constantly dwindling as freight and passenger fares are not being decided in an optimum manner. The ever-expanding expense list is a big challenge for the railway budget this time. There is some relief with the slashing of diesel prices, but the 7th Pay Commission will add an additional burden of 32,000 crore rupees on the railways. Losses on passenger services is expected to be to the tune of 30,000 crore rupees. Add to this the Finance Ministry's refusal for any relief, and the railway's present condition is a cause of concern. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, yesterday, the Lok Sabha took up a short-duration discussion on the functioning of universities in the country, which included discussions on the twin issue at the JNU and Hyderabad University. BJP MP Anurag Thakur led a fierce government response, followed by HRD Minister Smriti Irani against the opposition's allegations of muzzling dissent and being anti-Dalit. Here is more.
The government and opposition exchanged heated arguments as the suicide of Rohit Vemula, a student at Hyderabad University, and the arrest of JNU students on sedition charges rocked the lower house on Wednesday. This followed after leader of Congress Mallikarjun Kharge and 2 others gave notice of adjournment motion on the issue.
अब मुझे ये पूछना है, क्या इंस्पेक्टर ML शर्मा जिन्होंने शहादत दी उनके घर आप गई या नहीं गई, लेकिन दूसरे के नाम पर आंसू जरूर निकाले. ये दिखाता है मैडम. और इसीलिए मैडम इसीलिए मुझे याद आता है कि जब वो इंस्पेक्टर ML शर्मा की बात आती है तो राहुल जी भी उनके यहाँ नहीं जा पाए, लेकिन उनके घर पर गए जिनका आतंकवादी होने का जिनके ऊपर आरोप ही नहीं लगे बल्कि उनको मार गिराया गया. इसलिए तय आपको करना है. आप अफजल गुरु के साथ हैं या संसद के साथ है, भारत के लोकतंत्र के साथ है. अफजल गुरु आपके लिए आतंकवादी है या आपके लिए शहीद है, ये तय आपको करना है.
Union Minister Smriti Irani gave an emotional speech and hard-hitting reply to the opposition for targeting her on the suicide of research scholar Rohit Vemula.
Handwritten suicide note was written which did not blame anybody. specifically stated that nobody is responsible for this act.
The Congress and other opposition parties accused the government of creating an atmosphere of divide and hatred in its attempt to keep divisive issues. Congress leader Jyotiraditya Scindia launched an aggressive criticism at the government, squarely blaming the NDA for the suicide of Dalit scholar Rohit Vemula in Hyderabad. He called the sedition controversy on JNU a blot on the nation.
ये सोच ये सरकार प्रचारित करनी चाहती है कि एक ही सोच चलेगा, एक ही धर्म चलेगा, एक ही संस्कृति चलेगा इस देश में। कि हम जितनी आलोचना करें वो कम है, लेकिन केवल नारे देना अपराधीकरण की श्रेणी में नहीं आता और राजद्रोह की श्रेणी में नहीं आता।
Facing flack over slapping sedition charges on JNU SU President Kanhaiya Kumar and others, Home Minister Rajnath Singh said the issue should now be left to the courts to decide. NDA ally the TDP voiced concern over the issue, saying sedition charge was a harsh action. Later, Home Minister assured the House on the safety of the students who were in custody.
जो कुछ भी जवाहरलाल नेहरू यूनिवर्सिटी में हुआ है और जो भी कार्रवाई पुलिस के द्वारा की जा रही है उसमें सरकार की तरफ से कोई हस्तक्षेप नहीं है। इतना मैं जरूर आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि किसी भी निर्दोष छात्र को पुलिस को परेशान करने की इजाजत किसी भी सूरत में नहीं दी जाएगी, किसी का हैरेसमेंट नहीं होने देंगे।
Members of the Congress, left parties and Trinamool Congress staged a walkout in the wake of HRD Ministry's strident attack on them, in which she rejected the charge of saffronization of education. Later, Irani had a face-off with BSP chief Mayawati in Rajya Sabha, with the minister taunting her whether MPs should decide ability of judges to deliver justice based on their caste. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the twin issues of Dalit scholar Rohit Vemula's suicide and the JNU row was raised outside the House as well. Left parties were joined by many other opposition parties in protesting just outside the House doors.
MPs of the left parties protesting against what they call are the government's anti-Dalit policies. They accuse the government of enforcing the agenda of the RSS on the citizens of the country.
It has now been proved that all the so-called evidence they have given is all fabricated evidence. And on the basis of such fabrications, this government, this BJP government is attempting to divert the attention of the people away from all the hard-pressed problems that they are facing, including galloping economic burdens on them.
MPs belonging to RJD, JDU and NCP also joined their colleagues from the left parties. JDU chief Sharad Yadav said it was the first time since independence that the issue of nationalism had become centre stage. He also accused the BJP-led government of trying to gloss over the promises it made before the elections.
हालात देश में जो हैं उनको सुधारने की जगह ये सरकार कन्हैया से लेकर जो नौजवानों को एक फेक ये उनका राष्ट्रवाद का जो भजन चला है तो पार्लियामेंट में इसकी बहस होगी और कभी हिंदुस्तान में 70 बरस में इस तरह का उन्माद कभी पैदा नहीं हुआ।
The protests from the opposition continued inside the House too, with MPs from several opposition parties demanding answers from the government. Navvikram Singh's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, an update on the JNU issue. Well, students Umar Khalid and Anirban Bhattacharya, who are charged with sedition for allegedly raising anti-national slogans at the campus, have been sent to 3 days of police custody. Police has also applied for production of JNU Students' Union President Kanhaiya Kumar so that all the 3 students can be interrogated together. Now, Delhi Police says that it wants to unearth the larger conspiracy behind the seditious act. A day after 2 JNU students accused of sedition surrendered before the Delhi police, a Delhi court sent Umar Khalid and Anirban Bhattacharya to 3-day police custody. The 2 and 3 other students, Rama Naga, Ashutosh Kumar and Anand Prakash, had allegedly raised anti-national slogans in the JNU campus at a cultural event organized on the death anniversary of Parliament attack convict Afzal Guru. The court has asked the police to conduct remand proceedings secretly so that arrested students are not harmed.
3 दिन की पीसी रिमांड मिली। दिल्ली पुलिस सक्षम है, पूरी तरह से सिक्योरिटी प्रोवाइड करी जाएगी और जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन में जरूरी है वो सब किया जाएगा।
Meanwhile, the Delhi police has submitted to the High Court a 13-page status report into the investigation so far in the case. The report alleges that there might be a larger conspiracy behind the pro-Afzal Guru event at the JNU. In the report, Delhi police also says that JNU-SU President Kanhaiya Kumar had not only participated in that event but had actually organized it. Cops have also applied for Kanhaiya's further police remand, which they say is necessary for confronting him with the other two accused.
We submitted to the court that we would be seeking a remand of the accused Kanhaiya in view of the new development of arrest of 2 co-accused persons. So the court adjourned the matter and fixed it for 29th of February at 2 p.m.
The politics over the JNU row continues, while the opposition is training guns at the government over what it alleges is muzzling of freedom of expression of students. Ruling BJP has asked the Congress to clarify its stand on the issue.
मैं ऐसे पूछना चाहता हूं कांग्रेस के उपाध्यक्ष राहुल गांधी जी को, आप देश की जनता के सामने इस नारों को स्पष्ट करिए, आप इसका समर्थन करते हैं या नहीं करते हैं, और नहीं करते हैं तो हिम्मत कर इसकी निंदा करिए। वोट बैंक की राजनीति के लिए इतने नीचे मत उतरिए।
The issue also reverberated in Parliament, with Home Minister Rajnath Singh assuring the Lok Sabha that no innocent student will be harassed, and said that the issue of sedition charge slapped against JNU students should be left for the courts to decide. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Well, on the first day of the budget session on Wednesday, the upper house witnessed a lot of slogan shouting and a heated exchanges really between members of the Treasury and opposition benches on the issue of Dalit scholar Rohit Vemula's suicide. After repeated adjournments, it was decided that the discussion on the JNU issue and the Hyderabad University controversy would be taken up today.
The first working day of the budget session in Rajya Sabha started on a stormy note, leading to repeated adjournments over the suicide of Dalit scholar Rohit Vemula. BSP leader Mayawati raised the issue during 0 hours, seeking the government's response on the inclusion of a Dalit member into the inquiry committee.
इस यूनिवर्सिटी में ये कोई पहला दलित छात्र के खुदकशी करने का मामला नहीं है, बल्कि इससे पहले भी यहाँ कई दलित छात्र अपना उत्पीड़न होने की वजह से आत्महत्या कर चुके हैं, खुदकशी कर चुके हैं। उन्होंने इनकी मदद नहीं की और केंद्र की सरकार ने भी मदद नहीं की, वहाँ के प्रशासन ने भी मदद नहीं की, वहाँ के वीसी ने भी मदद नहीं की।
During question hour, Chairman Mohammad Hamid Ansari appealed to those protesting to let the House function smoothly.
Disruption of question hour is a violation of the privilege of individual members. Is the House going on that track? Individual members who have asked questions, whose questions have come in the ballot, which have been listed, they have to be answered. Don't trample on the privilege of your own colleagues. That is all. You have the whole day to raise these questions. No, the chair is not getting into any discussions.
After 5 adjournments in the first half of the day, the stormy scenes continued in the post-lunch session as well. With BSP members shouting slogans in the well, Mayawati sought a separate discussion on Rohit Vemula's suicide.
मैं केवल सरकार से इतना चाहती हूँ कि जो न्यायिक जांच कमेटी के आदेश कर दिए गए हैं कि उसमें दलित को रखना है नहीं रखना, आपको तकलीफ क्या हो रही है? ये JNU का मामला और हैदराबाद यूनिवर्सिटी का मामला, ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण दोनों मामले हैं और इस दोनों मुद्दों के ऊपर ये अच्छा होता कि अलग-अलग चर्चा होती।
I have given this notice. I had put both these universities together. There is a point which is of great merit, which I fully support, what Benji is raising. So what I am saying is, if they are exercised today and they do not want the discussion today, then I am requesting you and with them, we have also spoken to Benji, to postpone this discussion for tomorrow. No. And take up this entire thing. No.
मायावती जी ने जो मुद्दा उठाया है उसमें हम सहमत हैं कि हैदराबाद यूनिवर्सिटी में जिस तरह से रोहित को आत्महत्या करनी पड़ी वो एक नेशनल इशू है, उसको हम किसी तरह से डाइल्यूट नहीं होने देंगे और न करना चाहते हैं.
The government, however, made it clear that it would reply to all questions raised during the discussion.
I have time and again said since I've entered this house this morning, I am willing to answer every question which is posed to me. Either they decide which question they want to ask it. Allow me to finish,
No,
Mr.
please,
Yachuri.
let her complete.
My question to the senior members of this house is this. Be it Mr. Yachuri or Behenji, my question is this. Are we signaling to the nation, sir, that a judge is in a capacity? Allow me to finish, sir. Are we saying to this country that a judge's capacity to deliver justice will depend on his caste now, sir? Are we saying this? That this particular judge is to be demeaned because of the caste he belongs to?
With BSP members not relenting, proceedings were adjourned once again. Later, it was decided to take up the issue for discussion on Thursday through short duration discussion and calling attention motion. With no work done on the first day of the budget session, Deputy Chairman once again urged the members to let the House function smoothly before adjourning the House till Thursday.
Not saying anything about the other house, but the other house is functioning very well. We are seniors. We could not function today in spite of all effort. Tomorrow, I thank you for this good understanding arrived at. I hope, I believe and I pray that tomorrow the House will function smoothly. House is adjourned till 11 a.m. on Thursday, the 25th February.
Vishal Daya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Now to some other news now. Will then aim to discourage cash transactions. The Cabinet has approved withdrawal of surcharge, service charge and convenience fee on card and digital payments. The Cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, also approved mandating payments beyond a prescribed threshold only through a card or digital mode. The move primarily discourages transaction in cash by providing access to financial payment services to citizens to pay through cards and digital means, and shifting payment ecosystem from cash-dominated to non-cash or less cash payments. News from the northeast now, and the newly installed government in Arunachal Pradesh will face a test of strength in the assembly. Chief Minister Kalikopul received a shot in the arm as 8 Nabam Tukki loyalists extended their support to him. Governor Jyoti Prasad Rajko has summoned the 7th session of the assembly from today till 27th of February. Now, Pul was sworn in as the 8th Chief Minister of the state on 19th of February after over 3 months of political instability. With the joining of the 8 MLAs, the strength of the Pul camp rose to 41, including 28 Congress members, 11 BJP MLAs and 2 independents in a house with an effective strength of 58, though the original strength was 60. The Union Cabinet had on 24th of January last recommended for imposition of President's rule in the state, and it was imposed on 26th of January. It was lifted less than a month later on 19th of February. In Breakfast Bulletin, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
NDA government's third budget. Will it be a path-breaking one? Will it fuel the government's development thrust? Watch the brightest minds dissect budget proposals. 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. on February 29th on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Now, the Gujarat Assembly has passed a bill to make it easier to change the use of agricultural land for non-farming purposes. Now, this came amid opposition from the Congress, which alleged that the move was aimed at helping real estate developers. Now, the House cleared the Gujarat Land Revenue Amendment Bill 2016 that seeks to amend the Gujarat Land Revenue Code of 1879, which lays down the procedure for converting agricultural land into non-agricultural. Now, Congress MLAs alleged that by passing the bill, which introduced a clause of multi-purpose NA ahead of the 2017 Assembly polls, the BJP-led state government is helping the builders. Now, explaining the rationale behind the move, Health Minister Nitin Patel said that as per the current code, landowners have to acquire NA certificate every time they have to change the land use pattern. However, Congress came down heavily on the government for introducing the bill and claimed that the provision of the multi-purpose NA will be misused by the influential people. On to the big international story now. Well, just 2 days ahead of the planned ceasefire, the United Nations today carried out its first airdrop of aid in Syria. Meanwhile, details on how to monitor the cessation of hostilities still remain unclear. Now, reports suggest that Russian President Vladimir Putin is making diplomatic push to make ceasefire in the country a reality.
The UN planes airdropped 21 tons of humanitarian aid deliveries in Syria's government-held area Deir al-Zur. Officials confirmed the aid has successfully reached the target area. Nearly 2 lakh civilians are living under siege in Deir al-Zur. Meanwhile, Syrian ambassador to the UN, Bashar Jafri, blamed non-state fighters for preventing the flow of humanitarian aid.
The second and last part of the deliveries is tentatively planned for 28th February. The United Nations have supplies ready to be loaded and delivered. Facilitation by all parties, including the relevant letters from the government of Syria, must be provided.
حيث يمنع الإرهابيون دخول المساعدات الإنسانية أو يستولون عليها لاستخدامها أو إعادة بيعها للمدنيين. ولذلك فإننا لم نرى صورا لما يسمى بالإرهابيين المعتدلين وهم يتضورون جوعا.
US-Russia brokered cessation of hostilities will come to effect from Saturday. However, there is still no clarity on how it will be implemented and monitored. US President Barack Obama remains cautious about a diplomatic plan. Russian President meanwhile spoke to leaders of Syria, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Iran and Qatar, expressing its commitment to planned ceasefire. On the ground, Russian warplanes have significantly slowed down. Turkey and Saudi-backed Syrian opposition remain skeptical about Russia's commitment.
The situation on the ground is difficult, but we have seen modest progress over the course of the last week or so with respect to humanitarian access to populations that are threatened.
В течение последних 2 суток интенсивность ударов российских самолетов заметно снизилась. Прежде всего, это коснулось тех районов Сирийской Арабской Республики, где уже поступили и продолжают поступать обращения от местных властей и представителей.
We're sure that Russia will do something, but the problem here, in this agreement, if they target al-Nusra, we're not defending al-Nusra, we're against al-Qaeda, we're against ISIS, Daesh, but maybe they will use that as an excuse to target moderate fighters, to target the Syrian Free Army. And there has to be some assurance, from the states, especially from the United States.
Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's endgame is still unclear. Early on Wednesday, the Syrian regime began accepting applications from candidates for parliamentary elections, which is planned on April 13th, a contradiction to the UN roadmap to find a solution to the 5-year-old civil war. In December 2015, the UN Security Council had called for the establishment of transitional government within 6 months after the start of peace talks. According to the UN, the transitional government would be the one drafting a new constitution and calling for elections within a year, and not the Assad regime. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And let's get you some more international stories now in World Wrap. Afghanistan has invited India to join a new regional consultative mechanism to weigh in on the critical challenges in the war-torn country. A new body, 6+1 group, will include India, Pakistan, Iran, Russia, the US and China. Amid opposition from Republicans on the appointment of Supreme Court judge, the US President Barack Obama is considering a moderate Republican for the post. However, the leaders in the Republican-led Senate held firm to their threat to block anyone he nominates. The United States and China have come to an agreement on a draft resolution to expand UN sanctions against North Korea. Fresh sanctions come in the wake of latest nuclear test in the country. The draft resolution will be put to vote in the UN Security Council soon. The International Monetary Fund today said that the global economy has weakened further, warning that it is highly vulnerable to adverse shocks. The global slowdown comes in the wake of increasing financial turbulence and falling asset prices. The IMF report comes ahead of the meeting of G20 finance ministers and central bank governors in Shanghai later this week. Now to cricket news now. Well, Bangladesh slumped to a crushing 45-run defeat against India in the inaugural match of the 2016 Asia Cup. Rohit Sharma guided the team to 166 for 6 after they were sent into bat first at the Sher-e-Bangla National Stadium in Mirpur. The hosts lost wickets regularly in their chase before limping to 121 for 7 in 20 overs. Sabir Rahman top scored for them with 44 runs. The Indian bowlers made the most of the green track, extracting bounce as well as movement on a breezy night in Mirpur. Now, midway into the Bangladesh innings, the fans turned on their mobile phone flashes to further illuminate the stadium as rain clouds moved in.
Hardik obviously has played his role. I think Rohit Sharma was the key. I mean, he was like, last over he get out. He has been set in the wicket. He batted till 19.2 overs, so it was the key point for them. I mean, the set batsman, if in the wicket, so he can turn the game for his team in any situation.
And from cricket to football, an outgoing FIFA president, Sepp Blatter, and suspended boss Michael Platini managed to get their suspensions reduced from 8 years to 6 by FIFA's appeals committee. Their bans from all football-related activities have been upheld. Now, both were found guilty of breaches surrounding a $2 million disloyal payment to Platini. They both deny any wrongdoing and they've said that they will appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Now, Blatter and Platini said that the payment honoured a verbal or gentleman's agreement made for 1998 for work carried out by the Frenchman when he was a technical advisor for Blatter. While Blatter said that he was very disappointed, Platini said that it was a political decision and was insulting and shameful. The FIFA's presidential election is due to take place on Friday to find Blatter's replacement.
All good? All positive? I hope so. How are you?
Very good to see you. Confident about the election?
Another 48 hours.
Yeah.
I hope all will be good.
How many votes do you think you have?
Well, wait until Friday.
Well, that's all in this edition of News, but news and updates continue on your channel. Thanks for watching.